You're standing on a narrow street just south of Market. The air smells like roasted duck and coal smoke. A grocer waves you in, doorway framed with red paper charms, inked in careful calligraphy. On the corner, a laundry steam drifts into the winter air, warm, wet, alive. Inside a side room, 4 men lean over a green felt table. Toy Chinese slips into English words, skipping over the clicks of tiles. It's midday, but the rhythm here feels timeless. You pass an herbal shop, drawers stacked to the ceiling, labels you can't read. The scent is sharp, medicinal, and comforting. This is St. Louis's Chinatown in the 1950s. You could find food, medicine, work, and community here within a few blocks. It's not big, but it's whole. And soon, it will be gone. This is That Doesn't Make Sense. I'm Michael Porter, and tonight we're walking into the forgotten Chinatown of St. Louis. This season, we're retracing a pattern that repeats in American cities. Neighborhoods labeled blighted, lives uprooted for progress, histories paved over by stadiums, freeways, and glossy postcards. We told the story of black communities displaced around Arch and Westport. We followed families pushed into Pruitt-Igoe. Tonight, the pattern returns. Different faces, different language, same logic. St. Louis's Chinatown. Hop Alley. The story opens with the name in the city directory, Alla Lee. In 1857, he arrives via San Francisco, opens a tea and coffee shop on North 10th Street, and becomes the first documented Chinese resident of St. Louis. The next year, he marries Sarah J. Graham, an Irish immigrant, raises his family, and in the evenings, he keeps a light in the window. In the decades that follow, more Chinese workers drift inland from the coast looking for steady work and to escape the violence. By the late 19th century, a few hundred people cluster downtown in a tight grid locals call Hop Alley. 17th to 18th, Market to Walnut, with laundries, grocery stores, and tea houses stacked door to door. At the alley center stands the On Leong Merchants and Laborers Association, Chinatown's mutual aid hall and de facto court. Its headquarters shifted over time. Earlier on South 8th Street, then a larger home at 720 Market Street. After 1948 through 1949, to host a national convention and eventually a post-clearance move to 1509 Delmar in 1966. Inside, the ritual set the rhythm. On February 5th, 1959, Presidents Robert Chu and Hao Liang ring the gong to start the new year while men bow before Guan Gong, protector of merchants. Minutes read like verdicts, disputes heard, like a jury. Decisions handed down by the co-presidents to keep peace without American courts. Ning Young serves as president during the final years downtown. Joe Lin, proprietor of the Orient restaurant, is among one of the best known community leaders, one of the unofficial mayors of Chinatown. Step outside and the alley hums. The hiss of hand irons before dawn, walks snapping to life by noon, mahgong tiles clanking past midnight. With exclusion laws, police scrutiny, and rising downtown land values, pressure builds. The On Leong Hall on 8th and then Market holds the line, mediating debt, finding beds, staking small loans, keeping the calendar of holidays, while redevelopment plans begin circling the map. In late 1958, Charles L. Ferris, executive director of the city's Land Clearance for Redevelopment Authority, studies the renewal map and pitches a downtown stadium to Civic Progress, the Cardinals, and the City Plan Commission. The idea lands. Voters approve $6 million in city bonds for streets and infrastructure. Business leaders organize the Civic Center Redevelopment Corporation to raise private money and assemble land. May 25th, 1964, groundbreaking. Donald J. Gunn, president of the Board of Aldermen, speaks on Mayor Raymond R. Tucker's behalf and calls the arch and the stadium the keystones of a new St. Louis. The statement is both aspiring and warning. By 1965, CCRC has purchased roughly 75% of the buildings bounded by 7th, 8th, Market, and Walnut, core of Hop Alley. In 1966, On Leong cancels its New Year's celebration, buys a building at 1509 Delmar, and moves on August 4th. 2 weeks later, the old headquarters is torn down with the rest of the block for stadium-linked development. May 12, 1966, Bush Memorial Stadium opens. Crowds cheer. Chinatown is gone. The streets have changed, but the record and the families have not. Historians and archivists have mapped the old addresses, digitized photos, and recorded voices so the alley can still be walked in the mind. See Asia in St. Louis, a Washington University Library's Story Map project, and the State Historical Society of Missouri's St. Louis Chinese Americans Oral History Collections. In 2024, the city acknowledged the site. An honorary street name, On Leong Way, runs along South 8th from Walnut to Market, right where the alley beat the strongest. A city is more than what it builds. It's what it remembers and what it saves. Hop Alley is gone from the skyline, but we can keep the record alive. If you or your family have photos, menus, letters, or stories from St. Louis's Chinatown, here's where to send them in 2025. Missouri Historical Society, Missouri History Museum, Chinese American Collecting Initiative. Contact Christopher Gordon. His email is cgordon@mohistory.org, or State Historical Society of Missouri, St. Louis Research Center. Ask about adding to the St. Louis Chinese Americans Oral History Collection or donating photos and papers. And Washington University Libraries, Asia in St. Louis team, East Asian Library for digital scans and content to map your family's history. Say the name out loud when you pass On Leong Way. Tell someone who didn't know. Send the memory. Keep the lane open. You've been listening to That Doesn't Make Sense, where we say the names, we mark the places, we make sure the story doesn't end where the bulldozers began. I'm Michael Porter, and if this moved you, follow, share, and send a memory, because the only thing worse than what happened is pretending it didn't. Music produced, recorded, mixed, and mastered by Approach, Akito Bray. Additional keys and recording by Australies. Thank you, gentlemen.